Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to talk about this. The strategic plan. So, I thought, how can we best talk about the strategic plan? Because it's all about forward. It's all about looking forward. It's all about our future. It's about our youth. It's about the here and now. You just don't want to hear it from me. So I thought I'd engage our futures. Our futures actually help us work out. They're going to walk me through it with you.
Why do we need to plan for the future?
Why do we need to plan for the future?
Why do we need to make a plan for the future?
To make the beach safer and better.
So we know where we're going and just not like improvise when it's happening.
We need to plan to make a more multicultural club and to make our beaches safer.
So, why the need for the plan? There's a few points up, and the Minister alluded to it as well. Essentially, we've been here for 110 years. We're a bloody fantastic surf lifesaving organisation. But moving forward, the community's changed, the needs have changed. As a surf lifesaving organisation, we also need to change. To do that, we have to have new ways that we can have greater sustainability and greater relevance. The red and yellow is iconic, but we need to work out new ways, new areas of business that we can help within, ways that can really tap into the community and go forward. Funding, as the Minister alluded to, funding is harder to get going forward year by year. We have a fantastic relationship with government and we're working hard with government to hopefully secure the future of the organisation going forward. But to do that, we also need to help the organisations, as in the clubs, with the funding going forward. Outside the flags. Hands up who's done any rescues outside of the flags. I thought there'd be more. I'm a proud lifesaver at Stanwell Park. Most of our rescues aren't in the flags. Most of our rescues are at the northern part of the beach when the hang gliders crash in the water. We have to take the ducks out to go get them. So there's a need where we actually need to move beyond the flags. And when I say I need to, we do it now. But if we're going to do it now, let's get the right resourcing for it. Let's get the right training for it. The clubs that want to do it and do more, we're going to give you more. The clubs that say, look, we can't take on that extra work, that's fine. We're actually going to give you resources to show how we can just support you doing the work you're currently doing at the moment. Climate change, whoever's a sceptic or not, I was at one club only last week. The ocean's 20 metres from their back door. You can't even launch an IRB. It's about a 10-foot drop. It's amazing. We've got to start to plan about what we're going to do with our infrastructure going forward. Importantly, and we're going to hear about all of this weekend, but this is the biggest and dearest to my heart. We are emergency responders. We actually do more rescues than any other emergency service in New South Wales. We see more critical incidents than anyone else. But how do we look after our people? Have we looked after our people really well in the past in regards to psychological well-being and health? We need to learn from lessons from past. You know, everyone needs to understand that going forward, we're just ordinary people, but we do bloody extraordinary things. But to do that, we need to really look after the health and welfare of our people. So we're going to invest an enormous amount of resources over the next 3 years to look after the people. But you're going to hear about that this weekend.
How do we make a plan?
How do you make a plan?
How do we make a plan?
We unite as a club.
Go to Bunnings Warehouse.
You stole mine.
Well, it wasn't Bunnings Warehouse where you make the plan. So, but it's a bloody good question. And as the President said, to make the plan, it just didn't come out of rhetoric out of a head office, the shiny bums that sit on the seat that you think don't know anything about surf lifesaving. What was done, it was from 1,000 respondents from the members talking about what they don't think we've done well in the past, but what we want to do more in the future. So it was 1,000 of our people of bare feet in the sand actually came forward and said, this is what we want to do. We workshopped it with many of the branches around the state. We had lessons from the past, as I said, but importantly, we needed to forecast the future. You'll see there's a point there about beliefs, and we're going to come to that because it's great to build a plan, but if you're going to have a plan, you've got to have organisational beliefs. You've got to have that heart and soul about what are we about, how are we actually going to deliver that plan, and connect to the plan. This is just not words on a page, ladies and gents. This is the future for us. It's achievable, it's measurable, and I can tell you what, if we can do it, we're going to look so good going forward.
How is it structured?
How is it structured? How is it structured?
Good question. So the plan is basically structured like any other normal plan. So we've got a vision, and we've got priorities, and we've got objectives, and we've got actions. So we're going to talk about the 6 objectives, and I want you to see yourselves in the plan. I'm actually going to give you some ideas and show you what you're seeing right now, but also what you're going to see going forward over not just the next 12 months, but the next 3 years. So the focus is basically here. The next 2 days is all about everything you see there on the page. It is about innovation. It's about collaboration. It's about us coming together, sharing those ideas. It's about leadership. Importantly, it's about embracing community. I called into a surf club on the way through here, and I should have taken a bloody photograph because it would have epitomised what we don't want to be or project to the community. Went to the back there and there was a great big sign saying, "Keep out, members only." Are we going to grow with that sort of sign, you think? No? This is what we need to change going forward. So when I spoke about those beliefs, is anyone here from Ballina? Can anyone tell me who that young fella is? Riley Green. Riley Green, and we don't have time in this morning's session. I would love to tell you the story about Riley Green, but come and see me at morning tea because I don't like to tear up in front of everyone here now. Riley Green epitomised and showed us the values and beliefs that we want the organisation to go forward with. It's a powerful story. Come and see the Ballina mob, they'll tell you as well. Go on LinkedIn, read the story.
We change lives and create great Aussies.
We are iconic and proud of what we do.
We protect and save lives.
We protect and save lives.
We're volunteers.
Being honest and respectful is important.
Being honest and respectful is important.
I want to be a leader.
I want to be a leader.
I want to be a leader.
Happy when I'm at the beach with my surf club friends.
They're pretty good, aren't they? Is that what we want? Is that what we want going forward? These are the 7 beliefs that we built for the organisation. And again, it wasn't just someone in head office that built this. This came back from the surveys and the targets as well. And when you read the plan, look at what the beliefs are. And I'm telling you now that we are iconic, we are proud, and what we do makes a difference. What we want is a happy, caring and fun environment that will attract and retain people. This weekend's all about flexibility. It's all about, we've looked in the past, let's look forward, let's see what the flexibility is going to be. So let's get down to it really quickly because we want to move into some of the other sessions. But these are the 6 core objectives for the organisation going forward. These are the things that we're going to focus on for the next 3 years to make us better than what we are right now, and we're bloody good now. So, member-centred, the biggest priority of the entire plan. We are currently doing focused and campaign recruitment and retention programs for clubs right around New South Wales. The focus is, it's not one size that fits all. We will build all the products for you. We will build all the resources for you, save you the money. If you're struggling with the resourcing in regards to how do we recruit and what's the best way to do it in our community, these people in these red shirts that also work in the McDonald's drive-thru after hours, they're here to help you. Supporting members' psychological welfare and mental health. As I said, massive. We just had a workshop, we brought members in saying, how are we going to do it? How are we going to go forward? It actually meets what we do on the beach going forward. So we've done the first workshop, we've engaged a big provider, we've put big budget behind it. We are going to build, I'm hoping, the best framework to look after the boys and girls and men and women on our beaches when they hit those critical incidents. Safeguarding junior members, well, that's another topic of this weekend. It is, unfortunately, we are touched by some untoward people in the organisation, as is many other volunteer organisations. It is so critical, ladies and gentlemen, that we look after our youth. So please get to that session as well. But again, David mentioned about how much the board members get paid. It's about recognition and reward. We can't remunerate everyone, we can't pay everyone. But this is what it's all about in regards to how do we make the community, as the Minister said, stand up and look at the things that we do, because I can guarantee you they don't know half the things we bloody do on the beach. It's all about how we can give greater recognition and reward for the members. Embracing community, as Philip alluded to, flexibility. So we've done things for 110 years. We've had the same sort of patrols, same sort of number of patrols, same sort of equipment on the beaches. But communities change. People don't have the same time to come and volunteer. They don't want to stand there for a whole day. They don't want to stand there for half a day. They want to do it a different way. If we have 4 clubs within 800 metres of each other, why do we need a powercraft at every club when we're trying to pull people from IRB drivers everywhere? Shouldn't we have some flexibility now going forward to actually meet the changing needs of the community? Inclusiveness. We are doing some amazing work now in regards to inclusiveness programs with the community and how to raise awareness of water safety. But it's not just in the water safety messages. It's about, if our surf club's here and we're looking at the break now, it's perfect, it's offshore, it's about 4 foot, it's glassy, we've got the flags up, it's magnificent. I want us to lift up the surf clubs and turn it around every now and then, point back into the community, work out just exactly how can we draw the community back into our clubs and into our clubhouses. If we can't maximise our assets and show the community who we are, we're not going to draw the people we need. And again, to do that, we'll understand who the at-risk groups are within the area. Position, profile and presence. This is about you. This is about how do we better position the organisation, profile the organisation and have greater presence everywhere. We need to showcase what we do because we do a bloody lot and for a lot of people. So it's all about sustainability and relevance. We want to be relevant and we want to show people what we are. Reputation and profile. What we want to do is everywhere you go has to be red and yellow. Has anyone ever heard the submariner philosophy? When I first came to the organisation, a retired submariner from the Navy pulled me up at a surf club at a bar and he says, "Listen here, old mate." And I thought, well, this is going to go really well. And he says, "Listen here, old mate." He says, "You've got to stop us from becoming wallpaper again." And I said, "What do you mean wallpaper?" He says, "Well, I'm a submariner." He says, "Our philosophy is submariners, we run silent and we run deep." He says, "That's not surf lifesaving." He says, "Surf lifesaving should be destroyers, up in the water, proud and up." He says, "Wallpaper, you walk into a house, you walk down the walls, you know there's wallpaper there, but you don't look at the wallpaper." He says, "When people come down to the beach, they see the patrol there, they walk past the patrol, but they don't look at the patrol. They actually don't see who we are." This is what position, profile and presence is. And we have to accept the fact that for us to be relevant and for us to be sustainable, we have to acknowledge that we are the emergency responders on the coastline. No one else can do the job that you do right now. So we've got to profile ourselves as doing that job, because if we don't fill the gap, someone else might come in and try and push us out of that gap. That's our backyard and that's where we need to stay. Working better together, increased communication and information provided. Phil said about the Hoover or Wover app, whatever it's called. Hoover? 380 delegates are actually here. So out of that, I think Phil said about 75 or 80% have hooked on. We're pushing out new communication channels to the clubs. We want you to look at the information we push out, but most importantly this weekend, tell us how do we get that info to you and what's the information that you need to do. Collaboration. The best ideas come from the surf clubs. So we are already actively looking for innovative ideas, and there's an innovation incubator this weekend talking about great ideas. We want the clubs to tell us what they think the best ideas are. Is it RWCs? Do we have a best way for doing patrols? Is it a best way for an app? Is it a best way for recruitment? This is where we're going to pull our ideas from. 75,000 members. Look at you mob sitting here. Some of the most astute, educated people that other volunteer organisations would crave for, but we have it here. This is where we're going to draw our ideas from going forward. But importantly, and you're going to hear this word throughout the whole conference, culture. We have to look at how we're going to have and grow and maintain and develop leaders, greater leaders than what we have now. Leadership is about culture. When we spoke about those beliefs, they inform our behaviours. Behaviours represent us in the cultural piece. It's all about the best culture we can be. Strengthen and streamline. I spoke about the funding, but this is about the technology. We're pushing out so much new technology for the clubs itself, whether it be, as the Minister said, emergency response beacons. You saw the work we did with the drones last year. This year there's going to be a bit more of an announcement in regard to that, fingers crossed, that have greater reach for everyone in respect. The applications that we use now, the apps, we're asking within that innovation incubator as well, what are the apps that are out there? They're about gear inspection apps, about how we do a better patrol rostering apps. These are things that we need to embrace. Get rid of the paper, bring in the electronic stuff. Finally, our bread and butter, capable and ready. We're lifesavers. At the end of the day, that's what we do, we save lives. We have to make sure that we're resourced and we're trained. We've got to look at what's the best way to patrol now. Someone said to me, Woolworths have a lot of staff because they have a lot of customers. The corner store only has 1 or 2 staff because they only get a few customers coming in. We've got to look at how do the patrols actually match going forward in different areas up and down the state. So actually the clubs that are smaller clubs can sustain themselves going forward, but we still have on that risk-based approach. We need to introduce and embrace technology to help us on our patrols going forward. But importantly, it's about flexibility. The board wants flexibility for the organisation going forward. The clubs are telling us they want flexibility. This weekend, tell us how flexible we're going to be. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, someone sent this to me the other day, and I just thought, this is it. 110 years old. When we had Auntie Annette give the welcome to country this morning, there's a welcome to country that I heard in the past about surf lifesaving. And it's, I want to acknowledge the traditional patrol men and women on the New South Wales coast. I want to pay my respects to the elders past and present. That is, the life members, both past and present, have set the platform for us now. We can't ever reject or forget the great history and tradition we have because we must always embrace it. But this weekend and the 3-year plan, it's not about the night time. It's about tomorrow. It's about the next day. The dawn is always invincible. If we get it right with this plan, if you give us the ideas this weekend, embrace this weekend how we want to embrace it, we're on a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great conference. Reach out to all the red shirts, no McDonald's orders, but you have the ideas, and it's just so good to see the Surf Life Saving family come together for this weekend. Thank you.